In the quiet town of Rochdale, England, a young girl with big dreams and a football at her feet began a journey that would inspire an entire generation. Keira Walsh wasn't born into a football dynasty. She didn't have the flash or fame from the beginning, but what she had was heart. A heart full of dreams, a mind wired for the game, and a soul that refused to quit. As a child, Keira spent hours kicking a ball around her backyard, often with her father, who quickly recognized the spark in her. She wasn't just playing, she was thinking, analyzing, learning the game like a strategist. She would watch matches not just as a fan, but as a student. The way the players moved, the positioning, the timing, Keira absorbed it all. But her journey wasn't easy. Being a girl passionate about football in a world that often told her, "It's not for you," wasn't simple. There were whispers, doubts, and dismissals. She was often the only girl on the pitch, the one people didn't expect to shine. There were times she felt isolated, like she didn't belong, like her dreams were too big. But Keira didn't listen to the noise. She let her feet do the talking. She kept showing up, kept running, kept believing. At just 12 years old, Keira joined Blackburn Rovers youth setup. This was a turning point, the first real step toward her dreams. She was surrounded by boys who underestimated her, coaches who were skeptical, environments that weren't always welcoming. But even then, she knew that talent alone wouldn't take her to the top. She trained relentlessly, working on her technique, her passing, her vision, qualities that would one day define her style of play. There were cold mornings, muddy pitches, long rides back home after tough games. But she never backed down. Her performances didn't go unnoticed. Soon, Manchester City came calling. At 17, Keira signed her first professional contract. She had arrived, but success didn't come overnight. The step up was massive. She found herself surrounded by experienced international players, stars she had looked up to. Doubts crept in. Was she ready? Did she belong? She was young, she was nervous, she was learning, but Keira had always thrived in the face of adversity. She worked harder, listened more, pushed herself further. Every mistake became a lesson, every challenge a stepping stone. And slowly, she began to shine. Her calmness on the ball, her ability to dictate the tempo, her vision, it became impossible to ignore. Soon, she became Manchester City's heartbeat, not the loudest voice in the dressing room, but the one whose presence calmed the storm on the pitch. Yet, her mental battle continued. She spoke openly about her struggles with confidence, anxiety, and the pressure of performing at the top level. There were sleepless nights, there were moments of doubt, but Keira, she faced it head on. She sought help, embraced vulnerability, and turned her weaknesses into her strength. In a world where athletes are expected to be strong all the time, Keira reminded us that true strength lies in being honest about your battles. Her rise was steady, but when she wore the England jersey, something magical happened. Keira wasn't just playing, she was leading from the middle. The Women's Euros 2022 was her moment. On the biggest stage, with the eyes of millions watching, Keira delivered a performance of a lifetime. Her assist to Ella Toone in the final was not just a pass, it was a statement, a symbol of her growth, her intelligence, her brilliance. That moment wasn't just about football, it was about belief, about rising after every fall, about dreaming big and working harder. England lifted the trophy, and Keira Walsh was rightly hailed as one of the architects of that historic win. But even with success, she remained grounded. She didn't change, she didn't lose herself in the fame. Her humility, her focus, and her dedication continued to inspire not just young girls, but anyone chasing a dream. Then came another big move. FC Barcelona, one of the greatest football clubs in the world. The transfer fee broke records, the media buzz, but that didn't faze her. In fact, it only fueled her. Moving to a new country, adapting to a different style of play, facing a language barrier, it wasn't easy. New teammates, new tactics, new expectations. But Keira embraced it with the same mindset she always had: learn, adapt, grow. At Barcelona, she found a team that appreciated her unique qualities. She wasn't just another midfielder, she was the heartbeat, the connection between defense and attack. And again, she proved that greatness isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's quiet, it's thoughtful, it's consistent. That's Keira. She didn't try to change who she was. She brought her own elegance into the game. Simple, effective, brilliant. Off the pitch, Keira became a symbol of hope and resilience. She opened up about the importance of mental health, especially in sports. She talked about the pressures, the expectations, and the toll it takes. But she also shared her journey of healing, of becoming mentally stronger, of choosing to keep going when it was easier to give up. She showed that even in silence, you can be powerful, that even in fear, you can move forward. Young fans across the world now look at Keira Walsh and see more than a footballer. They see a role model, someone who broke barriers, who proved that you don't have to be loud to lead, that you don't have to be perfect to be great. Her story is a reminder that greatness is earned through discipline, humility, and heart. She's inspired young girls to pick up the ball, to step onto the pitch, and to believe that they, too, can make it. And perhaps the most beautiful part of Keira's story is that she's still writing it. With every match, every pass, every challenge she overcomes, she inspires. She inspires the little girl in a quiet town who dreams of playing on the big stage. She inspires the athlete who's doubting their worth. She inspires the person who's quietly fighting their battles, hoping to rise. Keira Walsh's story is not just about football. It's about perseverance, about quiet strength, about believing in yourself when no one else does. It's about taking that first step, and then the next, and then the next, until you find yourself standing where you always dreamed of being. So if you ever find yourself doubting your journey, if the road feels too long or the obstacles too big, remember Keira. Remember the young girl who was told she couldn't, but did anyway. Remember that greatness isn't about the noise you make. It's about the impact you leave. And Keira Walsh, she's already left a legacy, but the best part is, she's only just getting started. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Vardostar for more inspiring football stories. Stay tuned and keep checking at Vardostar for more amazing content.